So you're at home partaking in your evening tea under a warm cover. Whenever out of nowhere you see a tremendous, no huge mosquito, its long and gangling legs have a range of your palm and it cumbersomely finds every one of the obstructions it meets, regardless of its abnormal appearance. It's actually alarming. Imagine a scenario in which it conveys jungle fever. Imagine a scenario in which it destroys you in your rest. Gradually, not to cause the monster to notice yourself. You get out from your delicate seat and run for it into the restroom. Secure yourself in there and open the program on your telephone. Following a couple of moments, you draw a worn-out breath of alleviation. Turns out it's simply a crane fly, not a mosquito by any means. It could appear as though a brutal monster, yet all at once it's really tranquil. And, surprisingly, helpless. Many crane flies don't for a moment even have mouths, so they don't eat by any means. What's more, those that have a mouthpiece will just chomp on sweet blossom. Nectar. Crane flies are truly cumbersome in the air. They are fairly short. Wings are no counterpart for their tremendous bodies and long legs. So they're slow and getting them simple. Birds and frogs as well as bats and felines love them as a treat. The main way they can try not to be is by losing a sheep, their legs effectively sever, in any event, when nothing contacts them. What's more, on the off chance that you're as yet unconvinced not to hightail it and set your home ablaze. Whenever you see one, consider this crane flies can let you know if the water pool you're going to swim in is of good quality. Assuming you see these bugs on or over the water, you're all set. Considerably more fishers frequently make their lure resemble the crane fly hatchling. Okay, this makes it more mouth-watering for fudge. In any case, while Googling, you get fascinated with looking into a few other unusual and insane bugs. For instance, here's the human face. Stinkbug. Nah, they don't actually smelled. Basically for people, they radiate pheromones that draw in other stink bugs, telling them there's food close by. The most impossible to miss element of it is in the name. A man-faced stink bug has a face on his back with 3 dark spots attracted red, the lively shade of its back. Warns hunters that the bug isn't scrumptious or even harmful. Indeed, the bruised eyes attract consideration from them to the weak head. Saddleback caterpillar's name is additionally very telling. It resembles some animal from one more planet, with a radiant green seat over its back. Also, the seat is unfortunately the main safe piece of what to contact. The spines you see all around the remainder of his body are sharp and exceptionally toxic. If you have any desire to give it a well-disposed tap on the back, ensure you contact nothing else. Indeed, all things considered, we have a fixed scarab. Next, meet the biggest insect in the entire world. It can develop as long as your whole palm total with fingers. Seeing one in the wild can be a stunning encounter, particularly in the event that it flies directly in your face. Yet don't worry. Fortunately, this Goliath is placid and won't tear into you in the event that you don't mean it hurts still. Assuming you drive it crazy, never allowed its mandibles to contact you. The bug will murmur and nibble, and what such snap can break a pencil down the middle. What's intriguing? A grown-up fixed creepy crawly doesn't take care of everything. It needn't bother with food to make do as a hatchling. It gets sufficient energy to keep it all around sustained in any event, while growing up. Ooh, I'd adore that capacity. And, surprisingly, really threatening-looking bug is a Goliath weta living in New Zealand. These cricket-like animals appear as though somebody neglected to lock the gateway to the diabolical. A huge muscular body with 6 prickly legs, long outsider-looking radio wires, and huge mandibles that very well could cut steel. Indeed, as a matter of fact, these monster bugs are very quiet and won't chomp except if incited. What's more, regardless of whether it's not so terrible as you would suspect. There are recordings with wheat is gnawing hands of individuals, holding them and causing no damage by any stretch of the imagination. So don't allow it to frighten you. Despite the fact that such a bug could weigh in excess of an undeniable sparrow, atlas moths seem as though they have 3 heads. 2 of which are snakes. These really nighttime flyers have unusual shapes on the tips of their wings that resemble snake heads. This is by all accounts their rationale: protection from hunters. What's more, that is additionally for what reason they're at times called cobra moths in Southeast Asia and India, where they typically stay. Atlas moths are regularly found on butterfly ranches, creating silk and that some side. The wingspan of one such moth can arrive at 10 inches. It's bigger than your hand. Peacock's insects are maybe the cutest 8-legged creature on the planet. Second, perhaps just to their bouncing cousins. They're so small. You presumably wouldn't see one scrambling through your kitchen. In any case, assuming you have an opportunity to investigate, make it happen. Peacock bugs are lovely. They have enormous beady eyes, a sparkly blue and red coat, and adorable fluff on their body and legs, and their mating moves. Something totally different, really awful. They just live in Australia. One more moth on the rundown, the hummingbird moth. Recall the Atlas one, how gigantic it was. Indeed, this one's just about as large as a hummingbird and holds considerably more similarity to its namesake than that. The speed at which it vacillates its wings, the long tongue, their beverage, blossom nectar, and, surprisingly, the sound it makes while flying, every last bit of it makes you keep thinking about whether it's actually a moth after all. Obviously, the fluffy critter is totally protected and you ought to view yourself as fortunate. Assuming that you at any point see what longhorn circle weaver insect is one of the most uncommon 8-legged creature on the planet. It's simply your normal bug in all regards. Be that as it may, for reasons unknown, it flaunts 2 long bended horns on its back. The back itself has radiant orange to avoid hunters. Red means risk, yet researchers are as yet uncertain why this insect needs those prongs. So there's a snare of secret for you. The delicate stirring of leaves under a heap of them, somewhat moving, and a major powerful horn appears. It's the Hercules insect. Perhaps the biggest insect on Earth. Close to half of its size comes from that horn on its head. On account of this awesome limb. Do you know precisely? It's a male. Females don't have it by any stretch of the imagination yet. The name comes from the heart, however, from the astonishing capacity of this monster to pull incredibly weighty burdens. Its solidarity is second just to waste insects. Our Hercules can pull, however, multiple times its fair share. Assuming you at any point see a bug with 5 heads wearing a sharp cap, no, you're not on another planet. It's a Brazilian tree container directly from a particular film. Furthermore, on your screens here, this bug is a genuine secret, is little and clandestine, and a lot is as yet unclear about it. Nobody knows why precisely the tree containers have these fluffy balls on their heads. However, they've just got one head. After all, that amount is sure taking a dip in a freshwater lake, someplace in the African jungles. Watch your toes. You can get a Goliath water bug hunting up. It's a ruthless bug and the biggest of its sort with those colossal jaguars. It's no big surprise, is usually known as a gator escape, on a goodness biter. The chomp of this water, it is actually very strong to abide beast. It gets its prey with the front legs and afterward leisurely chomps on it. What's more, when I say it's a hunter, I mean it. Goliath water bugs. Most loved food is fish and creatures of land and water. Regardless of their name, scorpion flies aren't connected with scorpions. They get this moniker on account of their tails, which resemble the infamous 8-legged creature. Seeing a flying scorpion is an overwhelming sight, best case scenario, yet fair. Not, these critters are little and delicate, and they couldn't actually tear into you. Just the guys have such a tail, and they use it to draw in females. Hello, what do you envision when you hear the word strolling stick? Unquestionably not a bug, but rather that is by and large the thing it is. See this twig and attempt to figure, is there something alive on it or not? Indeed, and negative. This twig isn't a twig by any stretch of the imagination. It is a mobile stick. These bugs have fostered an entrancing disguise. They're long and unassuming, ready to remain still for quite a long time, really long time, which makes them resemble dry twigs. However, when you contact one, it scrambles away on its gangling legs. On account of their appearance. Ruthless birds regularly miss strolling sticks, and the thick foliage and their Australian family emit a charming aroma, something like peanut butter. Ooh, yum. If you found this video helpful, make sure to give it a thumb up and share with your friend. Thank you for watching.